Bliss, y'all. So we back again out in nature, as you can tell. And yeah, just allowing people to peep the scenery, listen to the ambiance of the background and things like that. We got kids out and like just people. This is a recreational center. So I just wanted to be in a different part, just get a vibe, you know what I'm saying? See what I can do, what like as far as like the backgrounds and things like that in the parks. But basically, we're gonna start off like we usually do any other time. May this message and medicine be received in the way that you need it. And we're gonna kick off like this. So, in my last episode, I started the video off with a disclaimer, and I also went into back into the regular schedule programming and things like that. To me, I did that because it's pretty cool to be able to edit your own videos, and I often think about my childhood when I was growing up watching TV and just watching the programs and just like the shows that I was watching around that time and just analyzing these things. And so while I'm going into the other side of the creation process and not just as a consumer, because I do have to look back at these videos and while I'm editing them and stuff like that, I'm just like, yo, like how would my shows, my channel, how would that be ran, you know what I'm saying? So just doing that, and that led me into, because I was almost reluctant, I almost didn't even want to use that word programming, because like I was saying in my last video, I study etymology. And the thing about etymology is programming. Like, yeah, like we are the most sophisticated natural form of technology outside of nature. Well, we're not even outside of nature. We are a part of nature, and nature is an organic type of technology. So whenever we go and find these resources and things like that, whether it be stones, crystals, and put it into technology and be able to use technology for screens and stuff like that, we're using natural resources to create something else, you know what I'm saying? But I digress. Basically, what I wanted to talk about with programming is we're no different from what these, I'm videoing myself off of a camera. A camera or the lens is a copy of our eye, you know what I'm saying? And some things that we can see with the naked eye that the camera, we just know doesn't do well with the depth of it, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to programming ourselves, yes, I use that word correctly, because if we're not programming ourselves, someone or something is programming us. So whether we are consciously aware of it or it's getting pushed down into our subconscious, to the way that we talk, to the way that we address ourselves, to the way that we dress ourselves, to the way that we interact or lack thereof in our community and things like that, or even talking to ourselves. What things are we saying to ourselves that we're just murmuring in our head and not saying out loud? Are they peaceful things? Are they loving things? Are they caring things? Is it a conscious feedback loop that you're having, that you're conversing with yourself? Or are we constantly putting ourselves down and just running through these subconscious programs and not consciously thinking about them or trying to, because something that I did when I was working at an archery place, there was this kid that he was so critical on himself, and I can see, a lot of times I see myself in these kids and certain behaviors and characteristics I might have picked up and things like that. And part of reparenting ourselves is giving that love that we might have not have received as a child, but now we're able to identify and pick these things up and like, all right, let me supply myself with that need and things like that, so we don't go out of the house searching for these things. Sometimes we often search for these things in people, places, or objects that it doesn't really give us fulfillment as we can give ourselves fulfillment, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm watching this kid like be hard on himself, I gave him homework to do for himself, and that was anytime that you have like a negative comment about yourself, I want you to combat that with a positive comment that you like or love or admire about yourself. Whether he's still doing it or not, I'll let it be known that this is a lifelong process. Um, so I trust that even when I was that age, I often tell my mother all the time, like, these things that you told me went in the ear, don't think that it went in one ear and out of the other, because I was able to remember a lot of these things that I thought I wasn't even paying attention to, but it just plays back in my mind as an adult, and it's like, yeah, my mama said it'd be days like this. Like, all right, now I feel a little more equipped. I'm not going into this situation as fearful as I could be, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, if we're not programming ourselves, then who is or what is, you know what I'm saying? And I wrote it down because I like to get my first impression on a thought form. Sometimes we might need to edit and refine it and things like that. But basically what I was saying is I was reluctant to use this word, but just because of my intellect and the fact that I study these things and know about programming, I almost allowed the bad apples to spoil the bunch. Nah, I had to separate these things. Like, nah, that's what they do over here with these network TVs and television, mainstream network television. They program us to think a certain way and behave a certain way, you know what I'm saying? But like I was saying, don't allow these bad apples to spoil the bunch. And in fact, if we aren't programming ourselves, then who and what is? And all that we can do is control. That's what I wanted to talk about. So when it comes into ingesting and digesting, I didn't realize this until I don't know what number shroom trip I was on, but I came into the notion of energy is energy, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's good or bad, I can convert these things, transmute them into my betterment, because we all know shit is fertilizer. So my last episode, I was talking about my dreams and goals might have been getting like shitted on or something like that. Little did I know, and little did they know, that shit was fertilizer. But it becomes a point where we just get filled up to the brim, where we just need to unload. We need to reset. We need to have a factory reset on ourselves, on our own system, you know what I'm saying? So when that happens, we're not even able to digest anymore. So now we're just regurgitating, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's throwing up or shitting, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta get it out of our system. So to the point where these things, if we allow ourselves to keep feeding in certain programs that's not feeding us on our highest level, and to supply us with positive benefits and results, then the things that we're going to start producing aren't going to be of much use or even worthy, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be, not everything, but it's up for us to distinguish what tree is producing good fruits and what tree isn't producing the best fruits or the quality. Sometimes we need to see what's going on in the soil, you know what I'm saying? Just reach into the root. But basically what I want to talk about is when we're not able to ingest and digest certain information, then we're going to just regurgitate it to the point where it can create dis-ease into the body, you know what I'm saying? it's another word that I used before I went into dis-ease. Yeah. So yeah, we keep allowing ourselves to consume more of this energy because it's all energy, you know what I'm saying? We become sick or diseased. So going back to what I was saying about us being a part of technology, which i.e. nature, getting and contracting this virus is another technological term that we can use to like pretty much see the picture of what I'm painting right now. When we get that virus, then that's giving us a code. The code, then we need to read the code, figure out what needs to be done with that coding. And yes, and I purposely use certain words because that's a part of the reprogramming process. So when we offload these viruses and free ourselves from this energies that we don't need or isn't for our highest good, and we get to the point where we're unloading these things, then that's when we can start to relearn, because it is a process of unlearning. What we are an accumulation of the past, you know what I'm saying? So if whatever happened in the past wasn't to serve our highest good, we still hold the keys to that, but we don't have to hold on to the situations. Yes, they made us to who we are and what we are today, but we don't have to hold on to those things. That's why I say reestablishing better days, which is REBD, because that was an epiphany to me, even though I didn't have that epiphany until years down the road. It was just something within me that always just knew reestablishing better days. Just because today is a great day doesn't mean this is my only great day that I have to constantly go back inside my memory and replay these things. No, I can start tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, and have an even better day. It's just all based off of my perception and my perspective, you know what I'm saying? So that's basically all I had to say with this message, you know what I'm saying? As always, I hope y'all enjoyed the vibes, the sounds, you know what I'm saying? The birds are going off, and it just feels great right now. Y'all see me in this big ass jacket right now. It's really because I'm wearing a white shirt, and I don't want y'all thinking that I'm wearing the same white shirt. Even though I do wash my clothing, I have multiple white shirts. So I just be getting off of work, and I'm so fired up, you know what I'm saying? I gotta speak this out, you know. But yeah, much love to you and those around you that's viewing or listening to this message. May it be received how you need it to be received. Yeah, until next time, let's